Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. I'm your host, Kira Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental Team Podcast. Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kira, and today, you guys, I'm bringing on one of my fan faves. She is one of our traveling consultants. She also helps us with a lot of our marketing. If you guys come to Summit or any of our events, you will have this wonderful woman's creations. She does all of our banners, all of our graphics. So she's freaking amazing. I'm super excited to have her back on. Ashley Dorn, how are you today?
I'm so good. So good. So glad to be here.
Thanks for spending your morning with me. I appreciate it. It's always fun when we are not on the road and we actually are human beings and we're just hanging out and like working from home, doing our thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I really appreciate the go, but I also appreciate being home.
I agree. I think it's nice. It helps us realize what we have at home and also the beauty of being on the road. I think it's a really beautiful area that we both get to experience. So for those of you who haven't heard, Ashley has some pretty incredible podcasts. She was a dental assistant. She's worked in marketing. She had her own consulting business before her and I met. Gosh, Ash, how long has it been since I've known you?
I mean, it feels like a long time, but I think realistically, it's not even been a year, Kira. It's been like since June or July of last
Stop.
year.
It feels like it's been forever. It was one of those things when Ashley and I met. It was a click of an instant friendship, and we jive and jam, and it's an amazing thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. I love it.
It's probably because I had you podcast the first time I met you in the airport with me, like instant uncomfortable zone.
I mean, that kind of goes along with what I tell all my teams too, is like, I'm going to push you guys outside your comfort zone. And that's where the magic's going to happen. And I think like we just did that almost immediately.
We needed a podcast. And I was like, Ashley, you want to podcast with me in the airport? And you were down. And I knew in that moment that you'd be a great consultant. You'd be a great friend. Like you're down for anything. So, but you guys, we're going to jump right into today's topic. Ashley, you guys know, is a wealth of knowledge for marketing. She's got a lot of tips. Ash, you actually spoke at the last DSI Mastermind, and I will say you had tons and tons and tons of people come up to you after your presentation asking questions. So I'm super excited to dive into some more of these topics because I feel this is just a world of the unknown. I'm in there. I'm like, well, what do I do? How do I make a great website? Who do you use? How do you trust them? How do I even know who to use? Or is it just like roll the dice and hope for the best? So Ash, take it away. Let's dive into some marketing today and dazzle and shine in your zone of excellence.
All right. Awesome. So yeah, I did have a lot of people coming up asking me like further questions after that mastermind where I spoke on marketing. And I feel like I covered like 4 big hits right away, but didn't really get down into the nitty gritty. So that's what I wanted to do on this podcast is just kind of get down into those nitty gritty details and talk about all things websites. So,
yes.
Dental websites, they're huge. They're like so important to have. Everything really kind of revolves around your website. And I have gone into some offices where, doctors don't have them, or they just like literally plain don't have them, or they have them, but they're not happy with them. So I find myself really kind of always focusing still on those basic and implementing those basic systems going into offices. But then I can't help but talk about these tips and tricks and things that I recommend throwing on a website. So that's what I wanted to kind of structure this podcast around. So all things websites. First thing, I always say right at the top at that main landing page, when you first get to that main home screen, the biggest thing is you should have some movement. So whether it's a rotating picture or a silent video with words overplayed, welcoming your patients, but movement really will draw in the attention of that viewer or of that like potential patient that is checking your office out online.
Absolutely. You're exactly right. That's the first thing I look at. And I will say, you guys, Ashley is the better consultant than me in the fact that she scopes and goes over all of your websites before she even walks into the office. And I feel I started to implement that as well. That's something I didn't used to look at as much or as in detail. But Ashley already has a feel for your office just based on what you put out there. And I feel like I remember I worked with a doctor and she told me, she said, I feel like websites are becoming more and more our resumes to the world. And what do you want that to showcase? How do you want it to look? And that mental image of this is my virtual resume of our practice. What do I want it to look like and how do I want it to showcase is super, super important.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I've never heard anybody put it that way, but I really do love that. And I think that's the perfect description for it, because that's exactly what it is. It's you putting yourself out there to the world, and how do you want to be represented? So,
well, that was our big debate. I said I didn't want to pay a lot of money for a website because I didn't think it was really that important. I said, who really checks these out? Like, yes, it needs to be there, but I think it's more of a formality. And her opinion was, no, this is our resume to the world. We need to have a really, really standout website because that's our first impression to the world. And I have since receded and agreed with her. And I have made, I think I'm on what are we on? Ashley, we're building a new website on Dental A Team right now. And I think it's my 4th website build because, hashtag Kira's Dental Consulting was made by yours truly over here. And I'm no website designer. So, and that resume wasn't quite what I wanted everybody to know us as. So I think it's a really good, like you said, it's the first impression, and it's a really good a way to think about that and how important your website really is.
Totally. So point number 1, movement right at the top of the page, because it really just draws in that attention from that viewer and keeps them like interested and engaged. So going along with that, point number 2, I would have to say video, video, video. I know I say it all the time in talking, like in terms of marketing, in terms of social media. Having that on your website, though, is so important too. Again, right on that main page. I find that the most captivating websites are really where you have that movement at the top and then you immediately have that scroll down because you're looking for more information, and boom, there's a video right there. So I really love these videos to be like the doctor's bio, if you will. So like a video of the doctor, because I mean, let's face it. If you're a patient, put yourself in their shoes, right? So if you're a patient, you're going into look at this potential new dental practice or dentist office, and who do you want to see? You want to see your caretaker. You want to see that person that's going to be like treating you and recommending treatment, and really whose ever hands you're putting your health and well-being in. So I love for these videos to be short bios of the doctor, just basically welcoming those patients to their practice and having a little blurb about themselves. And again, I do stress like less than 2 minutes. People have very short attention spans. So under 2 minutes is really ideal for that spot.
Absolutely. And Ash, there is a question that I know a lot of people have said to us in the past of, well, what if I don't want to have my video there? Or what if I don't want to have my picture on the website? What do you tell those offices or those doctors in regard to that question?
Ooh, that's a great question, Kira. So usually I ask those doctors why. That's always my first question.
Well, because I'm not pretty enough, or I don't want my face on there. And I think it's the bottom line of like, guess what? You're a healthcare professional and
right.
People want to know you. So like doll yourself up, or it doesn't even matter. You don't have to look fantastic. Ashley is a really good editor, in case you guys want to know. And she makes my pictures look way, way, way better than what they are in real life. I send her the worst lighting I think I could possibly ever send her on the bulk of my videos. And she's had to learn how to like, you can brighten that stuff up. You can whiten that. Like you can do all sorts of things with Photoshop, but at least get a picture there, have a video there, regardless if that's your comfort zone or not. Don't worry. Podcasting, hearing my own voice. Yep. Super uncomfortable forever. It's just part of doing business. And I think, they do need to see your face. They do need to do it. And you all of a sudden become more like them versus some mystery wizard behind the glass curtain that we can never find.
Yeah, totally. And I think the reason why I asked them why first is because, of course, it kind of ties in with, I always want our doctors like operating on integrity. We coach a lot of that when we go into offices. So I try to ask them why to figure out what the like crux of it really is coming from inside. And then make them realize like all those wonderful things you just said. Like your patients want to know who you are. You need to establish that connection, that relationship with them. And ultimately, that's what every dentist and clinician really wants to do, is they want to form those relationships. I think for the majority of them, that's why they got into dentistry. But yeah, it's so valuable to put yourself out there. I know it's uncomfortable, but again, like just what we said when we started this, like put yourself out of your comfort zone, and that's where that magic is going to happen. So yeah, definitely, like there should be photos of all the clinicians. I mean, not just the doctors. I even recommend like photos of your hygienists too. They're the ones seeing and treating your patients, recommending services and treatment for their overall health and well-being. So they need to put themselves out there, at least with a photo and a bio. But I really do love a video bio coming right from the docs. I think that's huge.
I do too. It just makes you a real person. And I will say, from the person who does not enjoy doing that at all, it's really, really fast. Find a good photographer. We have one. He is incredibly great. Kaylee knew him. He's really inexpensive. He takes amazing photos. He does a great job editing. And once you find that person, and try a few different ones, but then it's just quick and easy. And I usually do between 1 to 3 photo shoots per year to make sure my photos stay up. And I mean, you guys were talking, I think he charges me about $250 per session that I do. Sometimes it's $350. So it's not a ton of money I'm investing to make sure our website looks current. Ashley has photos for Instagram and social, and it really doesn't take that much. And then when I'm doing that photo shoot, I bust out a 1 or 2 minute video real quick to keep it current for any events coming up. It doesn't have to be hard. And I think when you can eliminate those obstacles in front of you, I mean, shoot, guys, 90% of my videos on Instagram are taken on my iPhone. So it doesn't have to be high tech, high quality. I mean, it should be, again, it's your resume. It's the intro to your office, making sure it is the look and the feel you want to have. However, it does not have to be hard, expensive, or take a lot of time.
Totally. I think a lot of offices and teams like really overthink it, and they don't realize the amount of technology they have sitting in their palm every single day. And I mean, yeah, like you said, the cameras and everything on the latest and greatest phones are just out of this world, like high tech, and you can get a lot of really good quality just from that alone. So
for sure,
I definitely challenge my doctors and teams to utilize the things they already have. And this kind of goes into the other point I was going to bring that we kind of segued into already, is just always have an update and meet the team to keep that stuff current. Because I mean, people know, right? If you have your own patients going into your website, I direct a lot of our current patients, or I used to when I worked into a practice, to the website. That's where we house like our patient forms, things like that. So people know whether or not things are up to date and current. So keep it fresh. And like you said, it really doesn't take a lot of an expense to do that. So just, snap those photos and get it done. So moving on, I do have another point to share. And I talk to my doctors on this all the time. They say, well, I feel like I need to list all of my services on my website, every single thing. And one of my doctors, he was a newer doc. So newer docs, listen up to this point. He loved dental school, and he wanted to put all of his dental services out there, and he wanted to basically take everything that was in his dental textbook and put it on his website and really educate his patients on every single detail of every single service. Oh boy.
Cool. Let's bust out the Webster dictionary and start figuring out what you're talking about.
Right. Oh man. So that was fun. We had to have a little conversation where I was like, okay, but you do understand why people are coming to your website, right? It's to learn about you. It's to learn about your practice. Like you said, it's that resume that you're putting out to the world. It's not to open up a dental textbook. Yes, patients do want to learn about dentistry. Patients do want to be educated, but really take the time in the office to be able to have those conversations with patients. And all of us, I mean, not every single patient wants to know everything about dentistry. Like realistically, some people are very detail oriented when it comes to their health, and some people just are not. And they just want to develop that trust in that relationship. So I say, don't use your website as a place to like pull out the dental textbook. Like utilize that in-office relationship to educate those patients that are really wanting it. But do highlight your services. Do put your services on your website. And I love when the doctor's like favorite service, the thing that they want to do the most of. Okay, so like whether that's implants, same-day crowns, whatever it is, put that on your main page, because then you're going to be known as that doctor right, that does that thing. So you're going to kind of get that niche, if you will. And you'll elevate yourself in that position as like, I'm known as the guy who does really great implants, and I want to put that out there. I want to do more implants. Well, then put it on like the main screen of your homepage. So after you've scrolled down, so this would be after the movement at the top, after your video bio, but really highlight the thing that you want to do the most of.
Absolutely, because I think it's one of those things, the first thing that people see is what they remember about you too. And so what do you want to be known as? It's really cool, guys. I think about your website, you get to paint a picture of whomever you want to be. I remember when I moved, when I was 12, we used to live in Utah and I moved to California. And I remember being real upset that I had to move and I had to leave my friends and it was this whole different world. And then I remember one day I woke up and I was like, this is the best gift I've ever been given. I can literally become whomever I want to be. And I feel like that's the same with your website. You can, I mean, of course it should be who you are, but you can paint the picture of however you want people to perceive you. Do you want to be known as the implant specialist? Do you want to be known as a sleep doctor? Do you want to be known as a kind and caring doctor? Do you want to be known as the office that is always on time? You have the ability to paint and drop nuggets and plant seeds of who you are on your website. And I know that sounds silly, but that's what people remember. First impressions are a big deal, and your website's your first impression.
Yeah, totally. I had another office too who they're like, oh, we really want to see all those cash paying patients. Like we have this in-office membership plan that we've built to draw in and attract just those types of patients. I'm like, great. Why isn't it on your main page? Like, if that's the kind of people you want to draw in, if that's your avatar, then let's speak to them and let's like speak to them directly. Let's be very direct about who we're targeting and who we want to have as a patient in our practice. So we literally put the in-house membership plan right on the main page. And guess what? Patients are calling and they're getting directed to our website because all of that's built into then the search engine optimization or the SEO of the website as well.
Super brilliant. That's a brilliant point, Ashley. I love that you said that because I even thought about the podcast. We wanted to have more optimum doctors in our coaching because I realized that was the best product. That's the best way that we get the best results. And that's what most offices were looking for. But until, I had some good nudging from Ashley and some other people, I was a chicken. I didn't want to put it out there. Like, what if people judge me? What if this? What if that? And then thought, what is it going to hurt me to put it out there and see what people respond? And it's crazy. We get messages now saying like, hey, I want to be an optimum doctor. And I'm like, where did you even learn that word? Like, how do you even know about this? But people really do. They find it, they see it, they want it, they call about it because you planted that seed and you became that person to your prospective patient.
Yeah. It's really powerful stuff, the way it all kind of works out and ties together. So I'm a huge fan of it. Okay, last thing I have, because we're keeping this short and sweet and to the point today, is video testimonials. So if you can get your patients to rave about you, oh man, this holds a lot of weight, a ton of weight, you guys. So I'm going to share the story of how I've structured video testimonials, and we've gotten those from patients in the past with one office I worked in. So kind of collaborated with the doctor a little bit, right? And was like, okay, which of your patients are your raving fans? Like, you know who they are. So think about those people. Who are your raving fans? What treatment have you done on them? I say like try to mix it up. If you're a doctor that does a lot of different services, you offer a lot of different things, like pull a patient that you did a root canal on and they had an amazing experience, or pull another patient that you did maybe some cosmetic dentistry on and they had a really good outcome. Like they were just over the moon happy. So think of those patients and try to think of like the different services you've completed where they will go and rant and rave about your amazing qualities as a doctor, as a clinician. So we targeted those patients. We had those raving fans built in the office, and we literally like closed down the office an hour or two early. And then like we had hors d'oeuvres and food brought in. The doctor had basically like kind of a mini open house set up, if you will, where we literally had these patients come into the practice. We had the videographer there, and then we shot this footage of them basically raving about the doctor and bragging about their experience in the office. So it was amazing. Of course, we did prep all of these patients in advance. We didn't just bring them in and say, okay, you're going to have a video. We reached out to them. It was phone calls. It was emails back and forth. We gave them kind of like a template of what they should talk about during the video. So we ask them questions, and then they put it in their own writing and their own answers of the experience, and they could tell their story about how they had a really amazing experience at the office. So it was huge. On this website, we had I want to say 6 or 7 different video testimonials from patients where they're just ranting and raving about the experience in the team. So it holds a ton of weight if you can get other people to rave about you, because that really ramps up those internal referrals as well.
It really does. I think it's that friend of a friend. It creates more credibility. It creates more, I think, just awareness as well. It also feels more real when somebody else is talking about it versus, when I have clients say, oh my gosh, we love Kira, or there are reviews on the podcast, that's a lot more weight than me telling you how great we are because somebody else besides me is telling you. And also, I think the world has become skeptical because we've kind of been burned. Reviews can be made up, they can be bought, they can be whatever. Whereas, yes, a video testimony can still be bought, but I think those are harder to be bought. So I tend to believe video testimonials a lot more, especially if they're candid and they're more real. It doesn't feel like they're in a studio with this perfect makeup and it's like, obviously this is stupid. It's like, no, this is just Ashley at the dental office telling us how much she loves our practice. Because me as a patient, I can say, hey, I'm just like Ashley. And it creates that almost herd mentality of coming to you and feeling like you're the best thing for them.
Yeah, like you said, I love that we shot them right in the office. Our patients were literally sitting in the waiting room as they were recording these videos.
So smart. It's brilliant. I love that. So Ashley, I love what you said for website of, and let me make sure I didn't miss any points. I've got having some type of a video or movement at the top of your website. Making sure you have your services, especially the services you want to be known for, listed prominently, making sure you have a video or a picture of you as the doctor plus your team members, and then also making sure that you get video testimonials from your patients if possible. Did I miss anything, or was that a pretty concise recap of the highlights that you brought up for today for websites?
I would say that's a very concise recap. Yes, definitely.
Good. I'm glad it was concise. I would hate for it to be Webster Dictionary status. I'm known for doing that sometimes. So, but no, Ash, I love what you said, because I mean, like we mentioned, we are doing our new Dental A Team website, and we found somebody who is her credentials are that she can code on Kajabi. We have our website on Kajabi, so our courses can be there. And so we went out and we hired somebody fantastic who went and found this amazing website editor. So we're in the process of making all those edits. So pop on over, take a look, give us feedback, because you guys are you're ultimately the avatar of who we want to attract on our website. We tried to turn it more into our style and our feel, and that very warm, engaging, we don't just understand you, but we are you. So come on over, visit our website. Those are my last thoughts. Ash, you got any last thoughts on your end?
Oh man, I will just say the redesign of this website has been a lot of fun. Watching it kind of come into more of our Dental A Team feel, and like you said, Kira, it's becoming more of us. It's becoming more of your resume out there. So it's been really exciting for me to watch it evolve and all the little details that go into it, because I am one of those people that does love the details, you guys. I don't read Webster Dictionary, but I do love the little details.
That's why Ashley and I are a yin and a yang. She gets the details. I'm like, who would ever read that? And she's like, I do. And I was like, oh, good point. Good point. I probably should too.
Yeah, very type A about that.
I love it. It's so good. And I agree. And I love what you just said, that it's a journey for us, and that the website is becoming more of our resume of who the Dental A Team really is. So you guys, you get more of our feel and our vibe. And we really took the initiative on this one to make sure it felt like us. It looked like us. I mean, there's silly pictures. I can't wait for them to put up the picture from our video shoot where we're riding. The girls were awesome, and they got me a unicorn sled to slide down in the snow because we did it in Tahoe. Oh my gosh, we actually have pictures of us on this unicorn just sliding down a mountain. And I hope that those pictures make it on the website, or at least to Instagram. So pretty excited for that reveal.
Yes. That was a good day.
It was so fun. It was so fun. Well, Ashley, thank you as always for your brilliance on marketing and especially today on website. Offices, check it out. Go look at your website. Or maybe even send it to a few random people. Maybe even ask patients, what do they love? What do they not love? What do they wish was on there? Get some feedback. Make sure that that your website really is the resume of what you want it to be. And Ashley, as always, thank you for being on the show. Thanks for being part of the Dental A team. Thanks for being one of my best friends, and really giving so much to the dental world that we get to be a part of.
Oh man, right back at you. Like, thanks for having me. Thanks for making this like the best career ever. Kira literally said that to me when she first hired me. She's like, well, welcome or congratulations on finding the best career of your life at the age of
I'm not pompous or egotistical over here.
But
I'm impressed I said that to you.
It's been amazing. And I truly love being a part of this team and being able to really positively impact the world of dental, because that really spoke to me. And that is something that we stand for and we strive to do. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, it's Miss Ashley Dorn on the Dental A team. And thank you all for listening. And we'll catch you next time on the Dental A team podcast.
And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.